Hello, everyone. My name is Renee Lucas, and I'm the Engagement Manager for the Boston Women's Workforce Council. Today, I'm going to take you through a quick overview of the 2021 Compact Signer data submission process. First, I will explain why we are doing this, then some information about filling out and uploading your spreadsheet, and then we will go over some troubleshooting and helpful things to remember when you're going through this process. So when you sign on to the 100% Talent Compact, you're asked to do three things. One of them is to submit data. It is part of your commitment, and your participation helps us create a regional wage gap estimate. As a reminder, the process is completely anonymous. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to fill out your spreadsheet. So I will be sending you an email that contains this spreadsheet on May 3rd. But you can also go to our website and download the spreadsheet and practice ahead of time, or use that one to fill it out for real. You'll see a page like this, which refers to ways to get help. Then if you open our first tab, you're going to see a spreadsheet that looks very much like the EO1 form. Many organizations use this, so it is possible that you're already familiar with this format. Okay, starting on this tab, it is going to capture the total number of employees, male and female, by race and ethnicity, which is what you see across the top, and by employees by each job level, which is what you see across the left. We also have definitions below to help guide you on what information you should be inputting. For our session today, I'm going to input information from a fake organization. Ours will have one female Hispanic CEO and two white male professionals. Now, when you fill out your spreadsheet, you're going to input information as a snapshot of your organization on December 31st, 2020. So you'll include all full-time employees who are employed by your organization on that day. If more people were hired on January 1st, you would not include them in this spreadsheet. And if people were let go on January 1st, you would include them. Also, if you do not have any employees in a cell like my company, you will leave the cell as 0. Do not write in not available or put any characters in the cell. The spreadsheet will not upload. And the spreadsheet already has zeros autofilled in the cells, so it's not about changing them, more so remembering to leave them as 0 when you don't have any data for that cell. In the compensation tab, you're going to put the total of all the base compensation and overtime pay for your employees. Performance pay will be done in the next tab. For our case, our female CEO is going to make $150,000. And now, since I have two white male professionals, I'm going to add up both of their compensation and put the total in the cell. So the total of their compensation will be $120,000. Now, if an employee was employed for less than the full year, please annualize their earnings. For more detail on how to do this, you can reference our data preparation guide. Now, a yellow warning can pop up if the number you entered looks high. So for our CEO, maybe I entered something and just looks like that. In the cell turns yellow. We know that some organizations are larger, and you actually might have this amount in compensation, so you are able to submit the data in the yellow cell, but the warning is there just to encourage you to take another look at it. Now I'll put her back to her appropriate amount, and the cell turns white. The next tab is going to allow you to input performance pay. Remember, this is for any performance pay that was paid out in 2020. If a bonus was earned in 2020 but won't be paid out until sometime in 2021, you would not include those numbers. So you can see that our female CEO received $50,000 in bonus compensation, and our two male professionals received a total of $40,000 in performance pay in 2020. Now, you're not going to get an error message if you don't fill anything out, because some organizations don't have performance pay or have them for only certain job categories. And like I said earlier, leave the cells as 0 if you do not have any information to input. For the fourth and final tab, you'll be entering length of service. This is the length of service an employee has with the organization rounded to the nearest month. If an employee only works part of the year, they started in June, for example, then you'd write down 6 months for that employee. If it was 6 months and 3 weeks, then round up to the next month, or vice versa. Our female CEO has been with the company 5 years, which is 60 months. Our two male professionals' length of service combined is a total of 48 months. So now I'm going to save my spreadsheet and do a quick review. Now I'm going to check my data. So we built in a couple of checks into the spreadsheet. The first helps you check that you have entered the correct number of employees. This is a great check to make sure that the total number of employees adds up. and we had 1 female and 2 male employees. The other check that we can take a look at is the matching check that shows that we've entered compensation for everyone who's an employee, basically making sure that there's something in each cell that has employees in it. It's not going to check performance pay, but it will check that you've added a tenure for everybody. So if I go back to the tenure page and I take out our tenure for our CEO and I go back, you can see that it's a fail. And the spreadsheet will not upload with this red fail in it. So now I will go back and add back in her 60 months and go look at our matching check, and you can see it's a pass. And now I'm good to upload. That is what you want. You want everything to have green pass in the final matching check. So I'm going to save my spreadsheet and get ready to upload. So at this stage, you have filled out your spreadsheet and are ready to upload. The first thing that you're going to receive when you're ready to upload is an email from myself with a session key and participation code and link. Like I said earlier, you'll be receiving that all in the morning of May 3rd. You're going to click on that link and you'll immediately go to a page that looks like this. You're going to see that your session key and participation code are already filled. This should load normally if you're using any updated browser like Chrome, Safari, or Firefox, but check beforehand with a company device if 100talent.org works. Now, this is on the training site. The real one won't have this giant red banner up top. And like I said earlier, you'll have a submission ID and participation code auto-filled. And then the first thing that you're going to do is select your industry. Let's say I'm finance and insurance, so I would select that. Now I can drag and drop my spreadsheet into this box. It's going to think for a second, and then when I hit OK, it will auto-populate. Now I can scroll down and review all the data that I wrote in my spreadsheet. These are just the same forms, just written out right here. You can see it's still the same 3-person company. When I scroll down, I'm going to verify that everything looks correct, which it does, and I will check the totals at the bottom, which also look correct. Now I'm going to click that I verified all of my data is correct and hit submit. It'll think for a second. And now it says I have successfully updated my data. And I'll hit OK. And I can see here on the right my submission history. If I think I made a mistake or anything like that, I can re-upload and it will show a history of all the times I have submitted. Now let's just look for some troubleshooting. So now let's go over some troubleshooting tips. If you realize you made an error after uploading, you can re-upload your spreadsheet as many times as you want. It will just override the previous submittal. You can make the correction in the spreadsheet, save it, and then re-upload. You do not want to correct the mistake in the browser itself in case any internet problems occur and you lose that update. The yellow warnings is just a reminder to check your data. You are able to upload, but you just might want to take another glance at it before moving on. The red warning is an error message, and if it says fail, you will not be able to submit if these are present anywhere in your spreadsheet. You want to check the browser prior to May 3rd on a company device to make sure it is working properly. It's 100talent.org. And you really just want to make sure you save your spreadsheet with each use. So just a couple things to remember. The submission window is May 3rd through May 14th, and it's going to be your organizational data as of December 31st, 2020. It's a snapshot of that day. Everything will be submitted in totals, not averages. You'll receive an email with your submission ID and participation code the morning of May 3rd from myself, and the materials are available on our website, thebwwc.org/2021 wage gap measurement. You can reference our data preparation guide for more detailed information, and you can contact us anytime with questions. I have my email there, renee@thebwwc.org, and our team one, team@thebwwc.org. Remember, you can contact me anytime during those couple weeks. And I want to thank you again for taking part in this effort with us to measure the gender racial wage gap for Boston.